larger than life. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's a labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got a lot of participants out there this week. Hope everybody's well. What a week it's been. You kind of wonder what's next. So hopefully this half an hour is somewhat of an escape. I know it is for me. So again, thanks for joining. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the iLink&Label and the partnership we have with Fluke. And what I'll do this morning or this afternoon, depending upon where you are, is I'm going to try, because I'm having technical difficulties, but I'm going to try and show you a little bit of LinkWare Live on here. I'll share that screen. Unfortunately, my piece of crap phone or crappy app on here is not letting me share my phone. That would have been really cool, but I'm over it now. So you know what, we'll get through this okay. So again, thanks for joining me. Episode 9 already. Can you believe that? 9 weeks. Oh, God. Next week is our 10th anniversary, if you will. So look for something special. You know, we were kicking around some stuff and doing some end arounds or trying to get past legal with some stuff. But tune in next week. We are going to have something very special for some very lucky attendees. So stay tuned for that as well. Speaking of 9 weeks, look at this. Here's my labels that hopefully y'all saw me put in here 8 weeks ago. I've got a flag label in here. I got a cable wrap. This is in water. I got some oil here. And so these things have been in here for, what, 8 weeks now. So still going strong on those. Very tough labels, indeed. First and foremost, I know I was giving him crap last week about his Rogaine treatment. Trust me, it doesn't work. I wasted a little bit of money on, well, a lot of money on Rogaine. I'm not as vain as the individual you're going to see in a minute, but I was giving him crap last week about his Rogaine. I'd like to introduce my lovely assistant, Mr. Jamie Brookover. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and turn your camera on?
Hey, I disagree. I think Rogaine's working. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts.
Jamie, I think you've wasted your money again. Although the Billy Ray thing, I hear it's coming back. You actually look really good, man.
I mean, it fits me, honestly.
Well, I don't know about that. Hey, maybe a little something under here for your chin buddies. I don't know. What do you think? So, as you can all see, Jamie's a snappy dresser. Obviously, he didn't see the dress code, brother's dress code, but you know, and I don't know what the W on the wall, I have no idea, you know, what that is. But anyway, Mr. Jamie Brookover is going to be in the background answering all of your questions, please. Any and all questions, shoot Jamie's way. We're here to help you. I'll go into that diatribe at the end of this thing, but hopefully you find something enjoying, or hopefully you enjoy and find something. I got to stop the early morning drinking. It's really killing me. With that being said, so brother came up with this program. Brother and Fluke got into this collaboration, what, about 2 years ago. And, you know, I can remember the days out in the field when I used to work for a living where I would have my DSP. Ooh, remember those? It was a couple of years ago. But, you know, somebody would be in the closet. They'd be punching in the cable ID in the closet. Then you'd have somebody on the far end using the old walkie-talkies. And you're inputting everything manually. And if you got thousands of these to do, that's a lot of labor. And the other thing is that you may have mistakes as you're punching these. You're getting close to, you know, cut over time. You're trying to finish up and you're just banging away on this keyboard. There's the potential to make mistakes. So what Fluke and Brother did is they came up with an easier way to not only load the new versives or the DSXs, but to also dump that database into the PTE 550W for your labeling, because your labeling essentially is going to be the same as your test IDs. You're plugging into a certain port. That port has an identification. It's labeled with that same identification. And so I'm going to share a little screen right here of essentially how it works in a nutshell. Let's see if this comes up here. Come on, come on, come on. All right, so what this is it's kind of an overshot of the way that this program works. A project manager, an office assistant, whoever's back inside the office is going to do a database. They're going to take that database, it's an Excel database, they're going to put it up on LinkWare Live. Then what's going to happen is we have an app, right, called iLink&Label, that you're going to go up into LinkWare Live and you're going to pull that database down. You'll then connect via Wi-Fi. Again, the Wi-Fi portion of this has got nothing to do with the internet. It's just the Wi-Fi between your Android or iOS device and the machine. Once you connect your machine through the app, you can take that and you can dump that database into the 550W. Fluke Networks also has their own app. So again, you'll utilize that app to go up into LinkWare Live and download that into the Versive. So that way, everything's on the same table. So from a time standpoint, it's going to save a ton of time. Really no more manually entering in IDs unless there's change orders, and you can manually enter them into the DSX series as well. But other than that, you're working off the same database. So from a time perspective, it really is a game changer. And we know out in the market these days, time is money. And so you want to save time and you want to eliminate mistakes and you want to do a one and done type of scenario. So essentially the app is free. It's available for iOS and Android. The way it works is that you will log in to LinkWare Live. LinkWare Live is a free cloud-based program sponsored by Fluke. And you're going to put all your testing parameters up into LinkWare Live and then utilize the app to go and get it. The other thing I'm going to try and do, and again, available in the App Store, Google Play, the other thing I'm going to try and do here, and again, I'm having lots of technical difficulties, is I'm going to show you a brief video on how this whole process works. So let's go back into, and now my mouse isn't working. All right, so now let's go back into here. I'm going to share this screen, and here it is. Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear this out there. And let's give it a shot. And my mouse is not working. You ever have one of those days? Here we go.
Industries and Fluke Networks have teamed up to make testing and labeling your cable jobs easier and faster than ever with the LabelLink application. Manually creating identifiers for labels or building a separate database wastes time and increases the chances of mistakes. Brother's LabelLink app uses the information created during the planning process and stored in Fluke Networks' LinkWare Live database. Entering the data into a shared database saves time and means the test results and the labels will always match. Here's how it works. Before testing or labeling, use LinkWare Live to set up all the test settings and cable identifiers for the entire job. LinkWare Live makes it easy to set up the sets of IDs from your laptop or tablet. When it's time to label, enable the printer's Wi-Fi, then connect your smartphone. Then use the LabelLink application to log on to LinkWare Live. And then send the cable IDs to your printer. Select the labels you want and the type of label you need, and print them. When it's time to test, technicians at the job site connect their Versive testers through their smartphones to LinkWare Live and download all the test settings and IDs. As tests are completed, results can be uploaded. LinkWare Live ensures that results are assigned to the right job. Download the LabelLink application at the App Store and sign up for LinkWare Live at linkwarelive.com.
Alrighty then. So there's kind of the overview, the professional overview of how this works. A little more boring than the way that I would normally demonstrate this, but it gets the point across. So the other thing I'm going to do real quick is that LinkWare Live is a free cloud-based service. You can also have the master account holder, and then you can put the field technicians in there utilizing as users, utilizing their email addresses, and then they too can log into LinkWare Live. So the other thing I'm going to show you real quick, and hopefully I practiced this for a minute ahead of time, hopefully this works well, is, let's see, I'm going to go into, how come it's not doing this? Give me just a second here. Let me escape out of here. So I'm up in LinkWare Live right now. I'm going to share this with you. And I'm going to show you really how easy this is to build a job. Let's go into, here we go. Hopefully everyone can see this. So I'm logged into LinkWare Live, and as you can see, I've created some project names. It's very, very, very simple to do. If I'm starting a new project, all right, you can do something like BS1. You know what, we'll do BS2. You can add a location, you can add an address, but you can also do a start date. We'll go ahead and we'll start today. Let's go ahead and we'll end this. So I don't know what the hell, the 10th. All right, so as we add a new project, it's going to take you to a different screen to where you're going to select your media type. You can do copper, fiber. It's going to ask you what type of copper you're testing. There's a lot more test parameters in here, if you will. So I'm just going to do the BS. All right, and then I'll hit the next button. This is the important part next here. All right, you can build the job manually right here. So it's got some internal serialization. I actually find it easier if I go in and I select a database. Let's do BS1 sub-project. I don't want to do that. All right, we're going to skip this because what I want to do is I want to import cable ID. So I've already done a spreadsheet, if you will. Pay attention to this CSV and XLSX, because if you don't have that in the right format, you're going to become very frustrated. Trust me. So as I choose the file name, I'll just do this one here, 550-1. I'll go ahead and I'll import this. Now what it's doing is it's taking that database and it's dumping it, and you can see here's my cable IDs right here. All right, now this is the same database that is going to be dumped into not only the Versiv, but in the PTE 550W. So again, everything is done ahead of time. The LinkWare Live has gotten a little easier, all right? If I go back to projects, you can see where now I've got it should come up with my BS1. There it is right there. It shows my start date, my end date, and last updated. So again, it's very, very easy to build a project in LinkWare Live. And then the whole idea behind this, and think of today's environment as well, social distancing. Everything is social distancing. And so if you do have techs out on the job site, per se, you really don't want them congregating in the office. I wouldn't. So you essentially want them to go, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would have them go from their home to the office. And now they're not coming back to the office, wasting dashboard time. You can take this back at the office, put it up on LinkWare Live, and then that tech, no matter where they are, they could be anywhere in the world, they're going to access that through the iLink&Label on their phone to bring that in. So it does bring a nice little social distancing aspect to it, if you will. There's many benefits of doing this. Again, it's going to be labor saving. There's less mistakes on here. You're always going to have records, if you will. You can even add records to this out in the field on the Versiv and on the the PTE 550W. If there are changes made to that, a last minute change, a work order, again, you can make those changes, and then those changes will be in your submittals at the end of the job. So this is a game changer, an absolute game changer. As far as the database being loaded into the 550W, you can do your cable wraps. Usually faceplates are going to be a little bit different because you have some different types of media in the faceplates. You may have some fiber in there. You may have voice over IP, but that voice over IP could be going to, a different router, if you will, or different patch panels. You can have some video in there. So again, if you have the ability to build that ahead of time on a separate spreadsheet, that can be loaded into the 550 as well. But utilizing the database that you see on the screen here, and let me just get out of here, but utilizing that database that you see on the screen, you can do patch panels, you can do faceplates, you can do your cable wraps, you can do your flags. If there's any old school folks out there utilizing 110 punch down blocks, you can do that as well. So it's very versatile. Again, working from a database is a hell of a lot easier than doing it manually. So as far as setting up the account itself, it's real easy as far as the LinkWare Live is concerned. It is free. Add as many users as you want. What else can I tell you about this? Again, if you have any questions, we do record these videos. You can always go back and look. I do have this media available to share. As far as the videos, I do have instructional videos on how to do this. The biggest apprehension, I think, before with the LinkWare Live, it was somewhat convoluted, but as you just saw, you can go through it very, very easy. From a support standpoint, you can reach out to me anytime. At the end of the video, we're going to show you a contact list of how Brother is positioned throughout the country. We have manufacturer reps out there as well. This product, the PTE 550, well, I guess this product too is available at your local distribution partner. If you need help finding a distribution partner, please reach out and ask. If you need help with the apps, very, very easy to install, either iOS or Android. We're here to help as well. What else can I tell you? Going back to, man, and really, this isn't Datacom specific, if you will, and I thought about this before, we put the schedule together. There's a lot of electrical folks on these BS with Todds, and the electricians, or whether they like it or not, they're into low voltage as well. And so again, the more time that we save them out in the field with technology like this, the better. But again, any patch panel applications, I can remember doing these by hand with a little printer. A01 space, 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 A02 space, space, space. Everyone out there, at least us old farts. Oh, can I say fart? Us old flatulators. We remember doing this all by hand on the little Brother, well, these things right here. All right, and I keep showing this thing because we're trying to get away from this particular printer. The whole idea is pulling from a database, and if not pulling from a database, then again, utilizing serialization, because the one thing you don't want to do is digress back to the old days where you're in the closet doing everything by hand, not only when you're certifying the cables, but when you're labeling the cables. If you can pull that from a database. Now, the one thing I will say from a database is prone to human error. And so I'll give you a quick scenario of what we used to do back in the day. is that we would pre-print everything as far as our cable IDs, cable wraps on the 8.5 by 11. I'm not going to mention their names. I'll go straight to hell if I do. But our competitors use these 8.5 by 11 sheet labels, and they're called self-laminating labels. And the reason why they have that clear tail was, again, back in my day, I couldn't afford a toner printer, so we'd use inkjet printers, and that clear tail was to wrap around the ID to protect itself from scuffing and scraping and scratching. But anyway, we'd pre-print these, we put them in a manila envelope, we take them out to the field. First of all, you hope that they get to point B in a nice clean effort. But if they're bent, or if there's coffee or whatever that spills on them, that's a problem. Number two problem is human error. So you have these things pre-printed and you're taking them to a job site. I used to be in Fort Worth, Texas, and we used to have some jobs downtown Dallas. So I've got that dashboard time from point A to point B, and it's inevitable that at a certain point I'm going to get a phone call and they're going to say, hey, the cable IDs are off. Now, when they discover them is usually during the certification part, where that port is not matching with the other tech on the other end. Then what has to happen is all the labels have to be pulled off because you're off by one. It could be alpha, it could be numeric. You're off by one. So everything has to come back off, and that job has to be redone. And anybody that's a contractor out there or an end user, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is a huge waste of time and a huge waste of money. So the ability to work from a database, that database is embedded on the PTE 550W. There still may be human error on there. So somebody doing the database may have a digit missing. But the beautiful thing about that is, you know, with labels that are being taken out in the field, and when the mistake is discovered, the job stops. Then there has to be a reprint. Then there has to be a courier in one form or fashion from point A, which is the office, out to the job site. And again, this is all time and money, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing what I see out in the field, even to this day. So the ability to work from a database, it eliminates human error. If somebody's tired and they're in the closet and they're doing this, whether it be on the Fluke or on the PTE 550W, you're going to be prone to mistakes. The ability to have a database embedded in these units, again, you still may discover some human error, but you can fix them on the spot. And that's a beautiful thing about the PTE 550W, is that you can fix it right there on the spot. You don't have to wait from point A to point B, and you don't have to do a reprint. The other beautiful thing about this is that self-laminating tape, remember that little tail that wrapped around there? Again, it was to protect that alphanumeric printing from smearing or scratching. Well, again, everything we have is going to be laminated. So it's the same exact damn thing, only better because it's easier to read. With that being said, it's about 10:25 right now. I want to reiterate that Brother Industrial Solutions is here to help with your labeling endeavors. And we've had some really good feedback from this series so far. It's been absolutely incredible. Stay tuned. Brother does have some big news regarding some different products. And I think you're going to be really impressed with the next level that Brother is going to bring to the table. So later on down the road, if these continue, which I think they may, and you know, even if everything goes back to normal, this has been a huge success, this BS with Todd. We may not do it every week, and I know you're going to miss me dearly out there, but we will continue to do these to keep you updated on all the different topics. Right now, I think we're scheduled through mid-July, I believe, with the topics that I came up with. One of the things that y'all can help me out with out there is different topics. I believe next week is datacom specific, then we have electrical specific. And even though it's specific, anyone can tune in because the folks out in the field all do the same thing. All right. So if you have any suggestions for future episodes, please let me know. If you need help one-on-one, please let me know. Again, Brother is here to help. It's a value add service that we offer. to our labeling partners out in the field. I really can't say the same about our competition. It really sets us apart. So reach out. I believe, Kelly, if you would, we've got about 5 minutes left. Kelly, if you could put up the contact list. Oh, I'm sorry, we're upcoming session schedule. So as I talked about, next week is going to be Datacom specific applications, and there is going to be some bleed over. And even though I put Datacom, it's because I'm going to be dealing with things like patch panels and active and passive electronics and workstation outlets and faceplates and fiber. But there is some bleed over into the electrical side of the fence. On June 18th, this is actually a big one for us. So 606C, there's been some updates. 606 has been around for a long time. They're now on revision C. Look very soon to have Brother. We're right now trying to find a host. I've got a 606C presentation available that anyone can go out there and listen to my boring ass voice for a little while, and you'll learn some CECs. Huh? So anyway, stay tuned for that. When that does come out, we'll get the word out there to everyone. Security applications on June 25th. Again, you know, security, they encompass a lot of IP as well. Electrical applications, warehouse manufacturing. We had a guest last week, Dan Cobb. That'll never happen again. I learned my lesson. No, that's not true. Dan's a great guy. In fact, he wrote the song for us. I'm probably going to bring Dan in on the 16th, maybe another special guest for the warehouse. And Kelly, if you could put our contact information up on the screen, please. So I am in lovely Carlsbad, California. And it's bike riding weather right after this show. I mean, right after I get done working at 5 o'clock. I think I'll take my scooter out for a ride. Mr. Jamie Brookover's in Virginia Beach. So he's on the other side of the Mississippi, as is Mr. Dan Cobb, primarily deals in MRO. Mr. Bruce Page, our counterparts in Marblemouth, Virginia, or North Carolina, or something like that. Mr. Rob Dawkins is in North Carolina as well. And our glorious leader, Mr. Craig Robinson, is in Florida. So again, with that being said, we're going to throw a poll up on the screen. Please give us any input whatsoever. If you don't like the way I look, that I talk, if I've offended anybody, I really didn't mean to, but that's just my nature. It's part of the BS that goes along with the show here. Please take a few minutes to answer the poll, if you would. Please reach out to us early and often. You've got our email addresses, phone numbers. We are here to help your labeling endeavors. And again, we set ourselves apart versus the competition. With that being said, I appreciate everyone this week. We're ending this at 2 minutes early. Yay, I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. Take the poll with me. Please reach out. If you need some more information on how this works, I can get into greater detail, or any one of us can. With that being said, have yourself a great week, and I sincerely hope to meet everybody back here next Thursday. Thank you very much.